Hi, this is Marsha.
And this is Kelly.
We are the 2U's of 2U's Fiber Adventures. Thanks for stopping by.
You'll hear about knitting, spinning, dyeing, crocheting, and just about anything else we can think of as a way to play with string.
We blog and post show notes at 2usfiberadventures.com.
And we invite you to join our 2U's Fiber Adventures group on Ravelry. I'm 100 Projects.
And I am Better in Motion.
We're both on Instagram and Ravelry, and we look forward to meeting you there.
Enjoy the episode. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Marsha. You have your coffee?
No, I don't have coffee. I've had coffee already this morning.
It's actually,
I decided I probably shouldn't have a second cup and record. That would make me kind of wild.
I'm having my second cup because I had to rush off to an 8:00 meeting this morning.
Oh,
and then come home to record.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh man, I need that second cup of coffee.
Yes, well, no, I find I get a little jittery sometimes when I have two.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, well, guess what it's doing here?
Raining?
In Seattle. Yes. You know, I texted you on on Sunday. Last Sunday, I was helping my brother paint at his house, and the projected high was 84. It ended up being 87, and it's been really smoky because of the forest fires.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, in fact, yesterday, I couldn't even see downtown Seattle.
Wow.
You couldn't, it was terrible. So anyway, we have a little bit of rain today.
Nice.
Which is nice. Hopefully it'll clear the air, and hopefully it will help with the fires too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe not, but anyway, it's kind of feels like we're getting back to normal. It's just been so warm and dry. I honestly don't even remember the last time it rained. Sometime early this summer, probably.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is, what is today, October 20th?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's very unusual.
Well, we've been having very wet mornings, drizzle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't tell. I can't always tell if it actually rained or if it's just, so much moisture in the air that the
Mm-hmm.
sidewalks are wet. But we've been having that. But on Wednesday, I think it was over 90 here, which,
wow.
the 19th, it was over 90, which seems unusual, right, for us in October. But back when we were on strike in 2006, that was the anniversary. In fact, Wednesday was the anniversary of when we were on strike, our day we went out. And that day was really warm too. And it was October 19th. So it's not totally unusual for us to have. And
Mm-hmm.
by the Monday, so that was a Friday back in 2006. Friday was like in the 80s, really warm. And then by that Monday, it was raining. And we're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to have rain potentially tomorrow. So yeah, we have that. We have it every once in a while. We have a real warm, short patch
Mm-hmm.
in October, and we did. And now today it's back to normal. It's like in the 60s, and
Mm-hmm.
and then rain predicted on Monday, or on Saturday. So yeah, I think when you're going to be here, though, I don't think we've told people that you're coming.
No, we'll just tell people
coming.
what I'm doing.
Marsha's arriving right before Halloween, and then we're leaving. She'll be here a few days, and then we're leaving to go to a trailer rally at Pismo Beach. The Pismo trailer.
I'm excited about this
rally. So yeah, it should be really fun.
I'm going to bring my spinning wheel, and I'm really looking forward to just sitting outside the trailer. Hopefully you'll be able to put up your awning, right?
Yeah, he's hoping to put up
hopefully.
the awning, although it might be too windy to put up the awning.
Okay.
But you'll have shade. There'll be shade.
Yeah. Anyway, well, if it's cold, maybe I'll want to sit in the sun.
Even if it's not shade, it's not going to be
hot,
baking.
Yeah. Mm-mm. But I'm looking forward to sitting there and spinning and just watching people.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
People
it should be
watching
fun.
and then
Well, and we'll walk around and look at trails. So, okay, so I'm looking at the weather for Pismo for that weekend. It only goes out till that Thursday, but it's got 69 and 68 as the highs for Thursday and Friday.
Oh, perfect for a Pacific Northwesterner.
Yes, it will be perfect for you, Marsha. In fact, you might need to go lie down in the trailer in the midday when it gets too much.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll have to time our walks for the cooler part of the day. I'm sorry. I shouldn't tease you so bad.
No. I don't really like it. Like when we were down there in Albany, Oregon for the Black Sheep Gathering, I was a bit of a limp noodle, I have to say.
No, well, that was pretty. Yeah, that was pretty warm.
It was in the 90s. That was hot, but anyway.
Yeah. So this should be really beautiful. The weather should be great. The people watching will be great. We're in the little corner of the park that has, I've never gone to this rally before, and I've only been to one rally in my life. And that was last May when we picked up the trailer. So we really weren't part of the rally. We were more kind of just, we were welcomed and, made welcome by people for sure. Not to say we are outsiders. But we hadn't planned to be there or anything. So this is one where we're actually planning and we're going to go. And our site, it turns out, is right in a little corner of the park where there are quite a few people who have volunteered to host sort of a progressive party, the trailer crawl. So we're kind of in the party crowd, I think, maybe.
I was going to say, this sounds like it's going to be a super fun corner to be in.
I think
great
so.
Place.
Yeah, I think it's a good location. We'll see.
Yeah.
The sites are a little smaller in that location, but we're not a big trailer. I think of our trailer as large because it's double the size of the one we had before. But it's really, it's really not that big compared to a lot of, well, not the vintage trailers, but compared to a lot of other trailers, it's not that big. Compared to some of the Airstreams, it's not that big. So anyway, it'll fit just fine in that spot. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. I'm bringing my knitting for sure. I don't know what I'm going to be knitting on, but I'm going to make sure I have a new project going. For that.
Yes, I'm figuring out, well, we'll talk about projects in a minute, but I have to figure out projects to bring in. I am definitely bringing my wheel because I'm driving down, bringing Enzo with me. So he's a good road trip companion. He does really well in the car. So, so I'm going to bring the wheel down. I'm looking forward to it a lot. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I am too. I've got a lot of work to get done at work so that I can be ready to go. But of course, we're still dealing with our ransomware attack. We're now going into week 4, starting this weekend. So today's Friday. So
have they sent around a ditto memo about what's going on? You don't know anything, right?
We had a town hall where they talked about it. They've started giving like daily updates. So now they're finally sending out. I think they started last week. Toward the end of week 2, they finally realized that they needed to send out daily updates about what's happening, have like a command center approach, and so there's a little bit more of a coordinated, response going on. There was always a response to the attack, but now there's a more coordinated response to the campus community about what's happening. So, but it's rough. The student data is supposed to go back. The student data system is supposed to go back live sometime today. So we'll see. It's made life difficult for everyone, and I am really glad I'm not in IT. I cannot even imagine. Or even in administration. My meeting this morning was negotiating a side letter dealing with some of the impacts of the outage on evaluations, and how we can help our probationary faculty who need to get their, who need their evaluations and need information about how their evaluations are going to be handled, get that information. So I was talking with the HR director this morning, and, she's in meetings with lawyers from the insurance company and the negotiator with the insurance. So they're negotiating with the insurance company. Because of course you have insurance for these kinds of things. And then there's also all the forensic investigation that's going on for the criminal aspect of it. And so there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on that I'd like to be a fly on the wall, but I'm glad I'm not actually involved.
Yeah.
It's hard enough doing my job. But I have to say, Marsha, I was talking with someone else this morning, I am feeling like it's a big advantage to be old.
Why is that? Tell me.
Well, the newer faculty have been teaching with technology their whole career. They just take it for granted that they're going to walk into class and pull up their PowerPoint and put it up on the projector. And, they have their annotation, and they can annotate notes on their tablet. And it's like, I remember how to use a board.
Mm-hmm.
I remember how to print out or take a book into the classroom and take my practice problems from the book, or put the book under the document camera, because the projection works. It just can't connect to the computer. So, I can put my book under the document camera and project with the document camera page of the book. And, I'm not projecting PDFs of the book from the online website for the book. I'm projecting the actual book. I know how to do that. So we were laughing. I was talking with someone from the business office, and she said, yeah, we used to do our receivables on a ledger. And she said, we're kind of going backwards. We're recording things that way. And I said, well, it's good. We oldsters, we remember how to do that.
Yeah.
So one of the few advantages in this situation, it makes you feel good that you know how to do the old school way.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing I do old school is I just have a notebook with all my passwords in it for all my different accounts. And I know there's like an app you can get where it'll track all of it.
Actually,
for you,
your computer will
or
do it. Your Mac, it has the
yeah. But if someone can hack everything, why can't they just get that information too? So nobody can hack it if it's in a notebook.
It's true.
On a piece of paper. I try and hack a piece of paper, from wherever you are in the world, Anyway, I laugh. I'm sort of old school about some of this stuff.
Well, our IT director said that when she arrived, she was astounded that our password protocol was 6 characters.
Oh.
And you can use numbers, but you can't use those other characters. And you can't use a number for the first character. Anyway, she's like, this is terrible and this needs to change. But, her plan, that was her plan for the year had to become the plan for the next 2 weeks. Anyway, enough of that. My drama here, here in Salinas.
I have no drama here, but I've just been very busy with house projects. And Kelly, I will not go on about this forever, but you know how like some of this house stuff can be so incredibly frustrating. I think, and I don't know how it is in Salinas, but up here in Seattle, because there's so much building going on, it's really hard to find people to work. But I'm getting new windows, but that's 9 months from the day you order them.
Wow.
So I'm looking at going through obviously another winter with my windows that I'm really worried about, but there's nothing I can do.
Oh, so yeah. If they've weathered this many winters, they'll go one more.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then the dormer on the back of the house, I don't know if I think I may have talked about this before.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I have some rod, and I found a guy who came early in the spring, said he was going to do it, came and looked at it twice. Yes, he was going to do it. And he said, okay, I'm now finished with my other, this was in, sometime in September. He came and said he's going to come and measure to go buy the wood. And he came and he looked at it and he said, oh, no, I can't do it. I can't get up there on the roof. And so this is very frustrating to me. So I found somebody else who came and he said, oh, no, I got to put a scaffolding up there. And so I have a tree in the backyard. He says I have to cut the tree down for him to. So I said, thank you very much. And so I don't know what to do now. I'm kind of, so I'm now I guess I have to look for somebody else. But the other issue too is that now we're talking, we're going into, bad, it's raining now. So
but you can find someone and get the work lined up for spring.
Lined up. Yeah. Yeah. But this house stuff is really frustrating. I have to say, it's not as, I'm sure. I mean, everybody else has the same experience, but it's not. And to me, I look at it and I was like, well, they sided it when it was built, and it's been resided before, and there's been a tree there. How did they do that before? But anyway, what can I say?
Well, they can be more picky because there's so much work. They can be more picky about.
That's true,
right? And they can say, "I'm not going to work around your tree." Because I have lots of other jobs where I don't have to work around a tree. And that's probably
true.
What's happening.
Okay, enough of this.
Yes.
How about projects? Should we talk projects?
Sure. I think you have some important news.
Yes, I'll go first because I remember last time we recorded, I said, can I technically call my sweater done? And I couldn't technically call it done because I had about an inch left on the sleeve. So I finished it. I wove in all the ends and washed and blocked it and actually sewed the label in. And, what am I talking about? I'm talking about Happiness, the Kyle Kunnecke sweater. And I have to try not to make any noise here. I have to grab my label. Kelly, I have quite a bit of yarn left over. I have 153 grams.
Wow.
So, I'm looking at the label. Originally, I had 500 grams. And so I have 153 grams. So that's enough for a pair of socks and maybe a hat. So I can make a true adult layette.
We are going to start a trend, Marsha.
Yes.
Because I'm one and a half, maybe 1 1/3 socks into my full adult layette.
Anyway, I really like this sweater, and I'm going to bring it down on my trip.
Nice.
But I really like it.
You like the way it fits,
it's super cute. Yeah,
I
do.
Finished and...
it's big and roomy, but that's what it's supposed to be, right? But it doesn't, I don't feel, and it'll be interesting to get somebody else's opinion, I don't feel that I'm swimming in it.
Right. It doesn't feel sloppy. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, I'm interested. I think I mentioned this. I'm interested to try it on because I'm thinking maybe that's what I'll make next. The advantage of a pullover that's loose and boxy like that is that it's really not touching your skin in very many places. And so, and it's probably okay to wear like an undershirt underneath it and not get too warm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I'm going to wear. I think I want something under it. I think I'll wear a t-shirt or I might need to buy like some tank tops or something.
Yeah, I have a bunch of those.
Yeah, I think I want something under it because I think because it's wool, fingering weight wool. I think it will be warm, but it's so loose. There's a lot of airflow, right? Because it's loose. So I think I may want something, underneath it.
Right.
But anyway, I really like it. And then the other thing I finished is I just sat down and finished the spinning that Manx Loaghton. And I ended, I'm done with it. I think the last time we recorded, I was getting pretty sick of it. So I finished it last night. And what I did is I divided up the roving by weight. And, I weighed each, the bobbins that I still had some singles on and sort of tried to divide it up. I was surprised how poorly I did, though. There's one that has quite a bit of, not quite a bit, but it has, they didn't come out evenly, which I thought they would. But it's okay. I'm done with it now. I think I'll just probably take the one that has the most yarn on it and just do a 2-ply of it and just throw it in the bag. So I really don't think I'm going to have a shortage of yarn because I believe it's probably an Aran weight. And I have 16 skeins, 1,463 yards.
Nice.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
31 ounces. So
that's a blanket or a big blanket or a coat. Nice. I kind of am sort of thinking maybe a blanket because I don't think this is, or like you say, a coat, or it should be a sweater that would go over like a flannel shirt or something, because of the feel of the yarn. Actually, I've not washed it yet, so that's a project for later. But it'll be interesting to see if it does change it in any way by being washed. Probably not, but be kind of curious. Yeah, no, that'll be something you'll have to report back on for sure.
Yeah, I'll report on that. And then, so the only project I have on the needles now or on the wheel is the socks that I'm making for my brother out of the Weird Sisters Wool Emporium fingering weight. And I finished the first sock, and the second one, I am working on the heel flap. I've done about an inch of the heel flap.
Okay, so you're kind of where I am on my sock, except yours is a full-size sock.
Yeah.
Cool.
So making progress. And then I have pulled out the sweater, the infamous sweater that I was making for Ben with my hand spun. That's the striped sweater. And that was too big. And I pulled it out. I pulled it out of the closet. That was the first thing. And then I have pulled it out of the bag about 3 times to start unraveling it. And it's been too late at night each time. So I just stick it back in the bag. So maybe before I leave for California, I will unravel it. Or when I'm down at your house, one of the days I'm down there, I think I may just work on unraveling it. Because I would like to finish that sweater. So that's going to be my next project.
Well, we could sit and talk while you do it, or you could do it while I'm at work.
Yeah, or you can unravel it. Or unravel it for me.
I can unravel it for you.
I'm kidding. I don't mind. No, really, what's kind of stops me is I started the first sleeve, so I have to rip back the sleeve a bit and put that on waste yarn, and then I have to sort of figure out how far back I have to go.
Right.
I kind of. So what I need to do is just sort of sit back down and study the pattern and where I am in the pattern and how I work back from that. I have to reorient myself, so to speak.
Yeah,
so,
it's not just a matter of grabbing the end and pulling.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to rip it all the way out. You're just going to rip back to where things start to go awry.
Yeah. Because I put the collar on, so I would like to not take that off.
Right.
So, and it's not necessary if I.
Yeah.
So
well, that'd be nice if that works.
So that's it for me with projects.
Okay. Well, I have my socks that I have referred to already. They have a cuff of maybe 3 inches, I would say. And then I am doing the heel. So one sock is completely done. And the other sock has the cuff, and I'm halfway through the heel flap. I'm working on them right now as we talk. And I'm using the Vivid yarn from Iceland. It's kind of glacier colors. Kind of that light pale tealy blue. And then the dark green raven color, I think it's called Nevermore from Invictus Yarn. It's the Yak Lux. for the heel and the toe. The body of the sock is the Vivid yarn from Iceland. Just a ribbed cuff and regular foot. And so there'll be short socks. And I think I will pretty much end up using all the yarn that I have, or all but just a tiny little bit that I will be able to just easily use up or toss without guilt. And that'll be nice. And that will complete my adult layette, because I have a hat that I've been wearing a lot out of this yarn. And then I have the sweater that I made, the pattern was Rachel. Can't remember who that's by. But anyway, the Rachel pattern that I then added some stripes into using Fibonacci. That was my first pullover that I made. And I did that. I wore the first wearing of it was last year at Stitches. And then I finally got another chance to wear it. I wore it to work the other day when it was cold with a turtleneck underneath. And I really like it. The fit is good. I had said, it's a little more form fitting that I like, but that's my form. My form is a little smaller apparently than it was in the middle of the pandemic. or the end of the end of the end of the lockdown part of the pandemic last spring. So that was kind of nice to see when I put it on. It's like, oh, this fits me a little bit better than it did, and it didn't itch. Just to report about that, I really didn't feel itchy wearing it, which was my fear.
Yeah.
So the yarn is really nice. And I did put on, the day I was wearing it, I did put on the hat just to take a picture of myself in the mirror and kind of chuckle. I think I might have sent it to you just to kind of chuckle about, wearing a hat that matches your sweater. And then if I can wear socks.
And soon socks.
Yeah. Socks that match my sweater along with a hat that matches my sweater. Yeah. I did not wear the hat the day I wore the sweater, but I actually wear the hat a lot. It's become my kind of go-to sock head slouch hat, fingering weight, nice and light but warm. When it's cool in the house in the mornings. So, but that's really my only. Well, I have that vest. I need to get that vest back out and start working on it, the mohair vest.
Oh, the mohair vest?
Yeah. I put it away for a little while during summer, and then I just haven't got, when it's warm, I just haven't gotten it back out. But I did start weaving. I'm not sure if I think I had only wound the warp last time. So I got the warp on the loom for the curtains and discovered that, I don't know why I didn't discover it while I was threading the loom. I discovered it while I was actually talking to you on the phone about how wide the curtain panels were going to be.
Right. Yeah.
And I discovered that I hadn't wound enough. I was about 6 inches short. So rookie mistake moment. I'd never counted the threads. I had skipped a whole section that I should have wound. So I thought, I'll just weave the sample anyway. Since it's all set up, I'll weave the sample, and then I'll decide if I even like this for curtains, and then I'll add warp to it. So I did do that. I wove my samples, and their Swedish lace is the draft that I'm using. And so you have these little kind of like hashtags. They're kind of like little hashtags in texture on your fabric, or little boxes of texture on your fabric. So I wove different combinations of these little hashtaggy boxes to see what I liked, and then I also experimented with some different weights of yarn. And I discovered I actually liked the weight that was finer than the warp best. So I do know what I'm going to use for the, I think I know what I'm going to use for the weft is this finer yarn. And I kind of like the white rather than the ecru. But then I also have I had a fine ecru linen and I kind of like the feel of the linen section. So you'll get to see them. But meanwhile, I also was like, maybe I don't even really want this for curtains. It's nice, but the back curtain is white linen, and maybe I just want to go look for another vintage white linen. So I went on eBay and I found some fabric. I don't know how vintage it is. Vintage on eBay could be 1980s. Mm-hmm. And I do think it might be like 1980s. But anyway, it's a woven fabric with a slight texture in little window panes. And it's white linen. And so I ordered that. And then she sent me a message saying she actually had 3 yards of it because I had ordered 2 half-yard sections of it. Because I think that's enough for the curtains. Because it's 55 inches wide. So each of those 55-inch widths will be cut in half lengthwise to give me the length of my curtains. And then the other dimension is 18 inches. So my panels will be 18 inches wide and 20 something, half of 55 hemmed and with a casing. So I don't think I need the 3 yards. So it'll be here. It should be here about the same time that you arrive. So you'll have a chance to look at it too. I do like the samples, but I don't know. And I can't go put them in the trailer because the trailer's all covered. So he's going to uncover it next week to start getting ready for the trip. And that'll give me a little bit better idea of whether I really do like it or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's still a work in progress. But I did add the threads to the loom. I haven't rewound it. That was a process, but I don't need to talk about the details of it here. But it's all set.
Yeah, really.
It's as though I had originally warped it with the right number of threads, and now I just have to wind it on. So I need help from Robert for that because I'm going to I need to wind it on from the front to the back. If I do it from the back to the front, which I originally did, I don't need help, which is great. But with the repair I had to do, I now have to wind it from the front back to the back. So
okay.
And he's been busy building fences. So
yes, I've been looking at the pictures. It looks great.
Yeah. He had wrought
really
iron
nice.
fencing. Or I don't know if it's truly wrought iron, but it's iron fencing. And he had all of it shipped, and it came on a truck, and we had to, I think I mentioned this, we had to unload it from the truck ourselves. And I mean, the guy who had the truck helped get it out, but then we had to bring it all back to the backyard. He asked if we had when Robert called him, he asked if we had a forklift. When Robert was calling to arrange the delivery, because I don't think they typically deliver it to a home, right? They're typically delivering.
Oh, it's probably like for industrial, or not industrial, but like
for a fencing
construction.
company. Yeah.
Yeah.
They would typically deliver to a fencing company. So anyway, but he's been putting up. He's got the fence that we used to have, a white picket fence that was dividing our yard from the neighbors on the our front yard from the neighbors on one side. And then, so that's all been replaced, and it looks really nice. I was joking, it's like our Halloween decoration, because it looks more Halloween-ish, to have this iron fence.
Yeah.
And now I can see out the window. I'm sitting upstairs in the spare room looking out the window to the front yard, and he's got all the fence posts dug for the front, because there was also a section of white picket fence that went along our sidewalk. And so that's all out, and he's got it all, because there's a hillside, so he's got caution tape making it so people won't fall off the sidewalk into our yard.
Right.
But he's working on that. He's got posts out there and the level, and so he may actually be putting in some posts. So, yeah, he's moving along. I think he'll have it done by the time you get here.
Oh,
yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, he said it should be easier, this fence, because it's not slanted. You know, the one on the side, our driveway is not very steeply sloped, but it's sloped enough that the fence had to kind of stair step. And that was giving him fits. So, I mean, he was trying to figure out how to do it, right? What was the best, what was the best way where was the best place to put them, and the jogs, where it had to step up. So this will be all just flat.
Well, the pictures I've seen of it looks great. So, and I know it's the fencing that I'm thinking of for my backyard. So I'm interested to see it when I come down.
Yeah, no, I think it looks good. And it really does expand it's funny how when the white picket fence was down, front strip looked, I mean, it's about 10 feet wide, the front strip between the driveway and the fence. I don't know, maybe not. About 10 feet wide. Anyway, it looked really big when the fence was down. And it still looks big with this new fence because it just kind of, it's visible, but it just kind of disappears. It's thinner, so you can see through it more, and it's black, so it doesn't attract your eye as much as the white picket fence does.
It sort of recedes a bit.
Yeah. So anyway, it made that side part of our front yard look bigger, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it will look like in the front, and I'm looking forward to planting. He cleared out a whole bunch of pruned things and cleared things so that he could dig the holes. And so now I can see possibilities as I walk to work. I'm like looking at, okay, I need to put in another one of these because there's kind of a hole. And, I think in this spot, I think I might put one of those. And, so I've been doing a little bit of garden thinking as I walk to work.
So, do we have anything else we need to talk about?
I think let me just say the dates for our Winter Weave Along is going. It started back October 1st, and we have a lot of chat already. People talking about their weaving projects, and people being enabled to think about weaving projects that they haven't been a weaver before. And we have a pretty chatty group, and we have some pretty experienced weavers that participate. So lots of assistance if anybody is new to weaving and wants to just read some of the stuff that's in there and ask questions. We're all happy to help. So yeah, and that'll be going along all the way through March. So we have a long time to just think about. To think about our weaving. I
put myself in the new weaver category.
Well, you're taking a class, right?
So, right, yeah. So I'm gonna be a very new weaver. So I'm excited about it. Yeah.
I could send you home with some cones of yarn.
Well, I am going to bring down, Kelly, the box of weaving supplies that my friend Dave dropped off. Do you remember I told you about that? Another friend had given them to him, and he was taking them to the Goodwill, and he swung by my house on the way, and I took them. So I'll bring that box down, and you can sort through it and tell me, what should be kept and what should go.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So, yeah. All right. Well, the next time we talk, I will be at your house.
Yeah, we're hoping to record.
Well, I'm sure we'll
at least maybe at our house or maybe in the trailer.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll talk to you before I arrive, but the next time we record, we'll be together. So in the same room, I should say, or the same trailer.
Yeah, that might be really fun if we get a chance to do that.
Yeah. Okay. All righty. We'll talk.
Marsha. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening. To subscribe to the podcast, visit 2usfiberadventures.com.
Join us on our adventures on Ravelry and Instagram. I am Better in Motion, and Kelly is 100 Projects.
Until next time, we're the two U's
Doing our part for World Fleece.